Senate will please come to order. It is my pleasure to introduce for today's devotional exercise, the Reverend Jeff Fuller of Living Hope Wesleyan Church of Waterbury Center. Welcome, Reverend.
Thank you so much, and it's an honor to join again via Zoom. We've certainly learned how to adapt. I was reminded of a phrase, I may have mentioned it the last time I spoke at the Senate, but it was, one can always do more, but never enough. And one can always do more, but never enough. And the importance of boundaries. And certainly this last year with the pandemic, with the issues, with so many different things taking place, it seems as though we were juggling so many balls in the air or spinning plates that we may have burned ourselves out or felt as though there wasn't as much hope as we thought there was and is. And I just want to encourage you that with proper boundaries, we can accomplish quite a bit. And we are grateful for your work. And from a pastor of this church, we are not in opposition to the state, but we are pleased and proud to work with you to help you do your job better, but also to assist in the Vermonters' lives that we're trying to help and reach. My wife was diagnosed with cancer 2 months ago. She's 41, stage 3 colon cancer. And the word that comes to my wife is, it's been clarifying. And I just want to encourage you this session to clarify what is truly important and to think what's best for them over what's best for you or what's best for I. And at times there is a win-win, and we certainly are proud when that faith comes together in the everyday of practical life, the relevance of faith and scripture and what is best for us to accomplish. And I just would encourage you that as we lead, we understand followers are following our example, not necessarily us. And I just wanted to speak to one concern, and that is the injustice that takes place. You can see that I am Asian. I was adopted by a family in Waterbury Center as an infant, and I grew up in this great state of Vermont, and I believe that Vermonters have so much culturally to offer to all people that come into this state, as long as we, I believe it was Andy Stanley said, do for one what you wish you could do for everyone. Do for one what you wish you could do for everyone. And what a great hope that is for us, just to share with relationships and in relationships with others, that we can just talk of this hope that we have. Many of us celebrated Easter on Sunday, and that was the promise that we are never alone, that we are never alone. And I just want to encourage you that though some people might vote against you, some people might even rally against you, that you are not alone, that we have a great hope to accomplish in this state and in this place of Vermont to help one another. I just want to conclude by reading the Lord's Prayer, and I'm going to go back to the King James Version. That's not the original language, that's Greek, and I can't read Greek, but I want to close with, when they asked Jesus how to pray, Jesus responded, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. And so quickly, I just want to conclude by restating, you can always do more, but you can never do enough. So find a healthy rhythm and find that balance. And do for one what you wish you could do for everyone. Thank you so much. God bless you today.
Thank you, Reverend. I'll now kindly ask you all to stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance
Pledge allegiance
to the flag
to the flag
of the United States
of America
and to the
and to the
republic
republic
which it
which it
stands,
stands,
one nation,
one nation,
under God,
under God,
with liberty
indivisible, with
and
liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Are there any announcements this morning? Seeing none, we have a resolution to take up at this time. JRS 22 relating to weekend adjournment. Please listen to the reading of the resolution.
JRS 22, joint resolution relating to weekend adjournment. Resolved by the Senate and House of Representatives that when the two houses adjourn on Friday, April 9, 2021, it be to meet again no later than Tuesday, April 13, 2021.
You've heard the reading of the resolution. The question is, shall the Senate adopt the resolution on its part? Are you ready for the question? If so, kindly unmute. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you've adopted the resolution. We have two Senate bills for introduction today. S 134, an act relating to the Vermont State Colleges, introduced by Senators Terenzini, Collmore, and Hooker. Please listen to the first reading of the bill.
S 134, an act relating to the Vermont State Colleges.
You've heard the first reading, and the bill is referred to the Committee on Education. S 135, an act relating to separating the individual and small group health insurance markets for plan year 2022, introduced by the Committee on Finance. Please listen to the first reading of the committee bill.
S 135, an act relating to separating the individual and small group health insurance markets for plan year 2022.
You've heard the first reading, and under the temporary rules, the bill is referred to the Committee on Rules. This brings us to the orders of the day. We have on the calendar for third reading, H20. Third reading was ordered on April 2nd, 2021. Are there any amendments before third reading? Please listen to the third reading of H20.
H20, an act relating to pretrial risk assessments and pretrial services.
The question is, shall the bill pass in concurrence? Are you ready for the question? And if so, kindly unmute. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you've passed H20 in concurrence. We have on the calendar for action H149, read for the first time on March 19th, 2021. It was referred to the Committee on Government Operations, which reports it has considered the bill and recommends that the bill to pass. Please listen to the second reading of H149.
H149, an act relating to modernizing statutes related to the Vermont National Guard.
The senator from Chittenden, Senator Rahm, is recognized for the report of the Committee on Government Operations.
Thank you, Madam President. H149 is a technical and clarifying bill in support of our Vermont National Guard. While it does not make substantive changes, but rather conforms to existing practice, it removes outdated provisions that harken back to some of our most trying times in national history. We should not miss the opportunity to thank our Guard members, past and present, for their service and sacrifice, and to remember our shared commitment to one another and to our state and nation. Again, most sections of the bill only make corrective, stylistic, and grammatical changes, so I will jump right into the section by section, beginning with the most technical. Sections 1, 5, 20, 40, 41, and 44 clarify that the Adjutant General adopts the rules for the National Guard when it is in state status. In sections 3, 17, 19, and 20, the bill deletes the outdated title Quartermaster General, which is not a position that exists in the modern National Guard. Section 2 amends 20 VSA 362 and updates the cross-reference to the chapters that the section applies to. It also strikes reference to federal laws and regulations for the U.S. Navy because Vermont no longer has naval units. Vermont used to have a small naval contingent on Lake Champlain. Section 320 VSA 363 clarifies that an adjutant general appointed to fill a vacancy in the middle of a term only serves until the end of that term. It amends the law to reflect that the deputy adjutant general is not an unpaid position. Section 1520 VSA 426 removes outdated language and adds a cross-reference to statute governing the state archives. Section 1720 VSA 481 strikes outdated language from the 19th century. Section 18 repeals 20 VSA 482, a section referencing a statute repealed in 2006 that required some state officers to provide a bond. Section 27 repeals 20 VSA 602, an obsolete section dating back to the Civil War when all Vermont men between 18 and 45 were part of the state's enrolled militia and could be drafted into service by the governor. This does not impact the federally administered selective service system, which requires all male U.S. citizens to register for the federal draft when they turn 18. Section 3220 VSA 608 adds a cross-reference to existing job protections in 21 VSA 491. Section 35 is 20 VSA 642, which replaces an outdated reference to private with the term enlisted person. This section predates the Air National Guard, which does not use the rank of private. Section 36 repeals 20 VSA 643, which is an outdated section on the subsistence and transportation that dates back to the Civil War. Section 37 repeals 20 VSA 645, which is a pledge of credit to raise funds that dates back to World War I. Other related sections from World War I were repealed more than 50 years ago. Section 42 repeals 20 VSA 821, which is once again obsolete because officers in the National Guard are no longer required to furnish a bond. Section 43 is 20 VSA 822 and clarifies that the Adjutant General would appoint a board to inspect and report on the condition of damaged property. Section 45 repeals 20 VSA 824, which is outdated language that purports to allow the governor to modify the National Guard uniforms. Modern uniform designs and requirements are determined by the federal government. Section 46 is 20 VSA 884 and replaces outdated terms such as musicians and privates with the term enlisted persons. The outdated language dates back to the 19th century. Section 47 is 20 VSA 885 and clarifies that rank conferred under Vermont law only applies in Vermont. Section 48, 20 VSA 886 clarifies that retirement is governed by federal law and regulations. Section 49 repeals 20 VSA 887, a section governing when a retired officer may wear their uniform, which is obsolete because that is governed by federal law and regulations. Section 55, 20 VSA 1151 deletes reference to unorganized militia that relates to a statute that was repealed in 1947. Section 60, 20 VSA 1156 is updated to reflect the 1951 replacement of the Articles of War with the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Section 72, 21 VSA 491 replaces the current 15-day leave allowance for state active duty with leave rights equal to the leave protections provided for federal duty by the Federal Uniformed Services Employment and Reemployment Rights Act, which is up to 5 years of cumulative leave from an employer. Section 73 is the effective date of July 1st, 2021. The committee received testimony from the Deputy Adjutant General of the Vermont National Guard and our Legislative Council. Madam President, as I stated earlier, while these sections of law are outdated, they represent grave and hallowed decisions from our past involvement in major conflicts, and we take our responsibility seriously to give our National Guard the clarity and support needed to operate in our present-day context. Your Government Operations Committee passed this bill on a 5-0-0 vote and asks for your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. The question is, shall the bill be read the third time? Are you ready for the question? So kindly unmute. And the question is, shall the bill be read the third time? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you've ordered third reading of H 149. We have on the calendar for action H 338, read for the first time on February 26th, 2021. It was referred to the Committee on Government Operations, which reports it has considered the bill and recommends that the bill to pass. Please listen to the second reading of H 338.
H 338, an act relating to reapportionment proposal deadlines.
The senator from Rutland, Senator Collmore, is recognized for the report of the Committee on Government Operations.
Thank you, Madam President. Just to give folks a little bit of background, this past winter, the U.S. Census Bureau notified the states that it will not be releasing the 2020 census redistricting data sets until September of this year rather than March. This is inconsistent with Vermont's statutory timeline for using redistricting data to prepare reapportionment proposals. So this bill will allow Vermont's Legislative Apportionment Board to complete its work on the 2022 reapportionment proposals on a delayed timeline to account for the 6-month delay in the release of the 2020 redistricting data set. This bill addresses a concern with the apportionment timeline and will not affect deadlines for subsequent reapportionments. Section 1 of the bill again outlines the findings that the U.S. Census Bureau has delayed the release of the data from March 2021 until September of 2021, which will cause the state's Legislative Apportionment Board, known as the LAB, to miss its statutory deadlines for submitting reapportionment proposals to both the House and the Senate. Section 2 in subsection A requires that notwithstanding statutory guidelines, the LAB submit its final proposal for the 2022 reapportionment of the House of Representatives not later than 90 days after the U.S. Census Bureau releases its data. This section allows the LAB the flexibility in establishing a timeline within that 90 days to prepare a tentative reapportionment proposal and then incorporate recommendations from boards of civil authority. The section also requires the LAB to give boards of civil authority a minimum of 21 days to review the LAB's tentative proposal and then to submit their recommendations to the LAB. Section 2, subsection B requires, again, the LAB submit its final proposal for the reapportionment of the Senate not later than 90 days after the U.S. Census Bureau releases its data. And section 3 in that same section requires that all other deadlines and procedures for the 2022 reapportionment of both the House and Senate remain as outlined in statute. The bill will take effect on passage. The committee heard from Amarin Aberjali from Legislative Counsel, Jason Broughton, the state librarian, and Tom Little, the chair of the Legislative Apportionment Board. The committee vote was 5-0-0 when we asked the Senate to concur. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator. The question is, shall the bill be read the third time? Are you ready for the question? So kindly unmute. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you've ordered third reading of H 338. This completes the orders of the day. The senator from Windham is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. Pending announcements, I move that the Senate stand in adjournment until 1 p.m. Wednesday, April 7th. I do want to let the senators know it will be what we refer to as a token session tomorrow. So we will advance the calendar, but you do not need to show up on Zoom tomorrow. I will send out an email reminder to that effect. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator. The senator from Windham has moved that subject to any announcements, the Senate do adjourn until Wednesday, April 7th at 1 p.m. Are there any announcements this morning? The senator from Chittenden, Senator Sirotkin, is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Economic Development will meet at 10 a.m. this morning.
Thank you, Senator. The senator from Essex, Orleans is recognized.
Yes, Madam President, thank you. Senate Ag will meet at 10 after 10.
Thank you, Senator. Are there any additional announcements? The senior senator from Chittenden is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Health and Welfare will meet at 10:15.
The senator from Windham is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Government Operations will meet at 1:30.
Thank you, Senator. The senior senator from Bennington is recognized, and then we'll move to Senator Campion.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Judiciary will meet as scheduled at 10:30, giving us 45 minutes almost. Time.
Thank you, Senator. And with respect, the senator from Bennington, Senator Campion, is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Education will meet at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Thank you.
The senator from Grand Isle is recognized.
Madam President, Transportation will meet at 10 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you. The senator from Addison is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Natural Resources and Energy will meet at 10:30.
Thank you, Senator. The senator from Caledonia, Senator Benning, is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. Institutions will meet at 1:30.
Are there any further announcements? I see a few more. The senator from Washington is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Finance will meet at 1:30.
Thank you. The senator from Windsor, Senator Clarkson, is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. The Senate Democratic Caucus will meet at 12:15. We have a special presentation on pensions and the challenges we face with our pension system.
Thank you, Senator. The senator from Caledonia, Senator Kitchell, is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Appropriations will meet at 1:30 this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any further announcements? The senator from Windham is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. I was reflecting on how this previous week we were, some of us were celebrating Passover, other people celebrating Easter, others who are not spiritual or religious at all were just delighting in the spring. So I was thinking about renewal and did some reading this past week by an author who's one of my favorites in pushing me to think differently about things. Her name is Bell Hooks. And she said, for me, forgiveness and compassion are always linked. How do we hold people accountable for wrongdoing and yet at the same time remain in touch with their humanity enough to believe in their capacity to be transformed? Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator. Hearing no further announcements, the senator from Windham has moved that the Senate adjourn until Wednesday, April 7th at 1 p.m. Are you ready for the question? And if so, please unmute. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the Senate stands adjourned until Wednesday, April 7th at 1 p.m.